Hello explorers and welcome to another video. I have many times before created particular images to automatically install different distributions. And in my case here, I'm working a lot with Debian. I'm testing a lot of Debian's installs. I'm installing a lot of applications on Debian's and so on. And being able to quickly reset, install a bunch of VMs in order to test different things out is very much my workflow. So having an image where I can just assign the image to a VM, start it up, and that image will automatically install Debian with the default settings that I want, nothing extra, no desktop, nothing extra installed, but it has my SSH keys, it has things that I need in order to simplify my workflow, has been a big part. So I have done one for Bullseye, and I think I did a video about that. I did one for Bookworm, and I did a video about that. And now we are up to Trixie. So this Trixie install is a little bit different because when it comes to Trixie, it's very new. So the tooling hasn't really been updated for the new circumstances. And there is actually a bug that I had to fix myself in order to get it working. And I'm gonna start talking about the differences that you need to change from the previous video if you have seen that. And if you haven't seen that, I will continue and go through all the different settings I use in order to install this and create this ISO image. So if we switch over to my screen here, we see that up here I have created an ISO image that I could use to automatically install, and it will install everything and then shut down. And the reason it shut down is because I want to run the script installing multiple. So it will start up, installing one, shut it down, then take the next one, install, shut down, and so on. So I can install like 5 VMs in a reasonable time. So let's go into the directory Simple CDD, which is the tooling that we will use. And one of the first changes we have is in the configuration file. So the Simple DD configuration file here, we have the boot default, boot timeout, and so on. Those haven't changed. And in my case, I said that my profile is my, and my locale and keyboard is EU English and EN English, and then I want the Swedish keyboard. That is something that is, of course, something you can change. Then you can set what kind of distribution you want and which servers you want to download this from. I use the default, but I have also tried this LTH, which is a university in Sweden. So I tried to download from them, but it doesn't really matter. The mirrors will choose the most, the one that is closest to you. So having this not set, if you don't have a particular preference, is also valid. Then I have these settings down here where you have contrib, non-free, and max CDs. I haven't changed those, and I want it to be 1 CD, so I have a very large limit. So those are old settings, but these are new. And the reason I have added these is because the 32-bit operating system is now deprecated altogether in the new release of Trixie. So there is no install files. So it tried to go out and actually fetch them. It tried to create a 30-bit image and so on, and I don't want that. So first off, we say that I want these two architectures, and I don't want any desktop. For some reason it asks for this. I'm not sure if this is the correct setting. I chose none because I don't need those packages. I will never install those packages, but it needed to be set. And then I want to disable EU5 for 32 bits. So we set that flag. That means that it will install, but it can't download the mirror because there is a bug. And I will show you that later on. Then we set the kernel params for the boot sequence to Preseed with a file in my Preseed directory here. And then we also have all the extras, and these are the other files that we will read in. No changes there. One other change that we have is in Simple CD or in the profile of my download. And here you have all the different things that you download in order to create your package. And two of the things that needed to be added was task cell and task cell data. So those are two extra packages. Up here we have not changed support for PC and EFI. We have the popularity contest and console setup. We have the USB utils in order to add those, and also power distribution things and eject, so we can actually remove the CD when we are rebooting. And we also have some settings for both LVM setups and cryptography if we want to crypt the disk. We have some tooling for different drives or different operating system or file systems. And then we have Bootstrap, of course, and we also have BusyBox, which will be used, SysLinux, IsoLinux, and I want sudo for the root password, and ZSTD. So those are different things that you need to download in order to build your package. Next up, we're going to talk about this bug that we had. So I will go through that. So if you look at my history here, we should have a file up here. So I sudo this file. So this is in my Python installation. Disk packages, Simple CD, tools, mirror download. And if I go into that file and go to line 131, so 132 was the one that crashed. So it tried to download stuff here from a particular URL, and it tried to download i386 packages, and those are not supported anymore. Those are removed. So what I did is up here, I added an if statement. If something ends in -i386 and then a slash in the file descriptor, then just continue. Skip those files. I'm not interested, because I will never build anything that requires those files, so don't download them. And then I came further than the download. So now I think I have talked about all the changes that are required. Now you should be able to use the old description on how to do this and be able to do the install. But I'm going to continue and talk about more things in my profile. So we have my excludes, and here I have only the console set up FreeBSD. I don't need that package. And packages, I want less and Python 3. We always will use Python because I will use Ansible, and having Python is really nice. Less is just a package you can't be without, so add that, of course. My post install, and here I will just add my keys, so my authorized keys, so I can actually log into this site. Nothing strange there. And then we will have my UDEBs, and here we don't have anything in my UDEB. But it's required to have that kind of file. The Preseed is the big file where you have all the different settings, so we will go through that line by line. Down here first, we need to set the language, the country, and the locale. If we don't do that, we will be asked for those. So set those, and it will not ask you for them. Then we will set the keyboard map to SE, which in my case is Swedish language, Swedish keyboard. If you need something else, you set that. When it comes to the bootloader, here we say that we want only Debian. We don't want other OSs. I think we set that to true. So other OSs are allowed, I guess. And the boot device will be the default. So if there is only one drive, it should choose that as your boot device and don't ask for it. I have installed it on other servers where there are multiple drives. Then it will ask you for which is your boot drive, and you need to select one. So that is not totally automatic. Then again, when you're sitting in front of a new computer, you want to be there in case of any other things that you need to change, of course. And then we have the force EFI extra removable to true, and we all update NVRAM to true as well. So this will probably set the bootloader in a good thing. We say that we want to allow a non-UEFI system to true. And then we have this task select here. This is the thing that we installed earlier. And the multi-select. So this will select what kind of installation you want. So you could say here, I want an SQL server, I want a DNS server, file server, mail server, and so on. But I don't want any of these specific packages, because this should be a pure install that I later on add things to. So I don't want a particular packaging here, but I want some extra things from that list of available packages that you can install. I will install build essentials, so we can build things and use GCC and so on in order to make and those kind of tooling. And I also will install SSH so I can log into this one. Popularity context, in this case I just set that to true. You can choose to set it to false as well. Doesn't really matter, but you could send over some usage statistics that could be useful for them, and also bug reports and so on. And then we have power off. In this case, I set the power off to true. So when it has installed and I want to install multiple, I know that this VM will shut down, and then it will install next one. So I can just put them in a straight line and have multiple installing in sequence. Next, so we set the system clock to UTC, and my time zone is Europe, Stockholm, closest place in Sweden. And then we have the NTP server, should put that on. Very important to have the right time in many cases. So setting that up is really good. I don't think that I installed the NTP packages. So if I want to have accurate time, I should install the NTP package as well. And then we have the Apartment Auto method, set that to regular. So here you can say that you want an LVM drive, or you want it to be encrypted. But I'm not that keen on encrypting my drive when I'm just using it for debugging purposes and testing things out. And then we say that we want Apartment LVM to confirm. So that dialog which asks for these things should be auto-confirmed, so you don't end up being on that screen longer than needed. And then we say that we want to have the apartment home. So this is pretty much choose to install everything in one directory, one particular. So you don't have all files in one. In this case, it's all files in one directory. But here I say I want the home directory as well. So it's a little bit split up. So you could choose this option, of course. You could choose a desktop machine, multi-workstation, and it will partition things differently depending on your choices. And then we have this write new label. Just set that to true, and also finish and confirm. So don't ask me any questions when you go through and create a new partition. Same, overwrite. I know that this is a drive that has no data on it. Just overwrite everything. And then we have the confirm again here on the apartment MD, and partitioning, confirm overwrite to true. So all of these are a little bit hazardous if you're running on drives that you are not sure that they are okay to overwrite. So if you have data that you don't want to lose, then please remove these or set them to false so you can go through and accept those things. The grub installer, install only Debian, other OS is true. I've seen this before, right? We had those up there, so those are set again. It doesn't really matter. Then down here we have the HTTP setting. So here we will set the host name and the mirror to Debian org, and manual, and then the directory of Debian, no proxy. So this will ensure that we can use the download mirror and get all our packages. So we don't have to do those choices. Then we have the mailer here. I'm not installing any mailer, so I will not set anything. And then we have the passwords. So set the password for the root login. Yes. Make a user. Yes. And then we will set encrypted password here. So this was a change in the previous one. So we need to run an password generator in order to create these two keys. And these are exactly the same password generators that you have in your system. So it's pretty much root me and QWERTY on this system. But of course, you need more secure password if you're using any other system that you need to have in production, for instance. I'm not sure if you install this in production. I think you need to do changes anyway. My full name is Daniel Persson, and I'm using the username of Wooden. So that's pretty much it for the Preseed file. So now that we have everything set up, we can start the build. And my way of building this is this command up here, where I run build simple CDD and then conf and then simple CDD conf and debug. And the reason I run debug is because I need the command on how to build the image, because the image as it is built will not be correct. We need to do a small change to it in order to be totally automatic. So that's why I'm running the debug flag. So this will not take that long. There, it's done. And the command we want is the XORRISO command up here. It's pretty long. So this is the image building command. And that needs to be ran in a directory, where you see here, temp, let's see, cd build Trixie. So in this directory we need to build it, and we need to go into the boot, isolinux, menu, CFG, and in the bottom of this file we see that we have two extra configuration files here, and these are for accessibilities. So after 30 seconds it will launch accessibility mode, where you can talk to your computer in order to go through the installation process. That's great when you're not doing an automatic install, but I don't want that GUI at the moment. So what I do is disable these two configuration files and then run this build command again from the temp cd build Trixie directory. And if you do that, it will go through and package the image again. And now in my images directory, I will have a Debian 13 CD ISO that I later on, in my case, run directly in the VirtualBox, and it will start building. So let's start building this test Trixie, for instance, set up VM, and it will run through, create a drive, and then start it up. We will end up in this first screen here and see that we have 5 seconds until automatically we boot. That would be 30 seconds, and to the speech API if we hadn't done that change. So now it will start the installation flow, and I will not be required to do anything in order to install a full Debian Trixie on a new VM. So this was what I wanted to cover today. I hope that you found this interesting. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. If you want to support the channel, there is links in the video description for affiliates and donation links. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave those in the comment section down below, and I really hope to see you in the next video.